Let's testify tonight. Oh God, you've done so much for me. I'm grateful and overwhelmed here at your feet. And I could stay here forever, Lord. But you call me to something more. And I hear you say that you have a plan to use every broken woman and man to display just how good you are. We are your living pieces of art. What good does it do to hide away when all of my scars are a picture of grace? All right. So I will testify of the power of God. I will tell the world of the hope I have found. For my body was broken, my heart was made whole, and that's too good to keep to myself. So I will testify of the power of God. Oh, do you believe it? Has he done it for anyone else? I said, has he done it for anyone else? 'Cause the God that I serve, he's always at work. Has he done it for anyone else? So come on and testify of the power of God. Come on and tell the world of the hope we have found. For our body was broken, our hearts were made whole, and that's too good to keep to yourself. Come on and testify of the power of God. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. I'm gonna testify. Somebody testify your voice. This is my. So I'm gonna testify. Somebody testify. Come on, take it up. Jesus, my champion, the victor of grace, the only one worthy of all of my praise. Yeah. So come on and testify. Oh, somebody lift him high. Come on, testify the power of God. I will tell the world of the hope I have found. Oh, for my body was broken, my heart was made whole, and that's too good to keep to myself. So I will testify of the power of God. Sing it. Oh, my body was broken, my heart was made whole, and that's too good to keep to myself. So I will testify of the power of God. Oh, let's do that right now, Murfreesboro.
And no, Godzilla, I was not in the bathroom. I am, however, really, really hot up here. It is stupid hot in this room. I forgot to turn the air conditioner on, so this will probably be a very brief live stream because, man, it's well over 100 degrees up here right now. But today is Exodus chapter 40. So the final chapter of the book. And so that's pretty exciting. I'm going to take tomorrow off so that I can get some stuff prepped for next week, where we will start our next book. And so thank you to all of you that have been sticking with me through this. I really appreciate it. And yes, Godson, I should have turned on the AC. Thank you for that. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it because, like I said, I'm not going to be able to stay up here that long. Even though the AC is going now, it will take it hours to get it to where it's tolerable. So let's switch screens here and get right into the final chapter of the second book of the Bible. Let's see. So we've been going through the last third or so of Exodus. You know, we've had God giving Moses the orders as to how to build the tabernacle, and then we've had the actual process of building the tabernacle, and now we're going to set up the tabernacle. So starting verse 1, then the Lord said to Moses, set up the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, on the first day of the first month. Place the ark of the covenant law in it, and shield the ark with the curtain. Bring the table and set out what belongs on it. Then bring in the lampstand and set up its lamps. Place the gold altar of incense in front of the ark and the covenant law, and put the curtain at the entrance to the tabernacle. Place the altar of burnt offering in front of the entrance to the tabernacle at the tent of meeting. Place the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar and put water in it. Set up the courtyard around it and put the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard. So all that stuff we've been building, we're going to just, line it all up, set it all up. Take the anointing oil and anoint the tabernacle and everything in it, consecrate it and all its furnishings, and it will be holy. Then anoint the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, consecrate the altar, and it will be most holy. Anoint the basin and the stand and consecrate them. Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance to the tent of meeting and wash them with water. And then dress Aaron in the sacred garments, anoint him and consecrate him so that he may serve me as priest. Bring his sons and dress them in tunics, anoint them as you anointed their father, so that they may serve me as priests. Their anointing will be to a priesthood that will continue throughout the generations. So this is the establishment, of course, of the priesthood that would continue all the way up to this day. Moses did everything just as the Lord commanded him. So the tabernacle was set up in the first day of the first month in the second year. When Moses set up the tabernacle, he put the bases in place, erected the frames, inserted the crossbars, and set up the posts. Then he spread the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering over the tent as the Lord commanded him. He took the tablets of the covenant law and placed them in the ark. So this is where we're asking, that's where the Ten Commandment tablets, they went directly into, it's actually a misnomer to say that the tablets of the Ten Commandments, because the tablets, based on what it says in that later chapter of Exodus, has all of the law that God had dictated to Moses there, not just the Ten Commandments. But he said, took the tablets of the covenant law and placed them in the ark, attached the poles to the ark, and put the atonement cover over it. Then he brought the ark into the tabernacle and hung the shielding curtain and shielded the ark of the covenant law as the Lord commanded him. Moses placed the table in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle outside the curtain and set out the bread on it before the Lord as the Lord commanded him. He placed the lampstand in the tent of meeting opposite the table on the south side of the tabernacle and set up the lamps before the Lord as the Lord had commanded him. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm sweating so hard it's getting in my eyes now, so it's a little stingy. Then he put up the curtain in the entrance of the tabernacle. He set up the altar of burnt offerings near the entrance of the tabernacle in the tent of meeting and offered it on it burnt offerings and grain offerings as the Lord commanded him. He placed the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar and put water in it for washing. And Moses and Aaron and his sons used it to wash their hands and feet. They washed whenever they entered the tent of meeting or approached the altar, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses set up the courtyard around the tabernacle and the altar and put up the curtain at the entrance to the courtyard. And so Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting because the cloud had settled on it. The glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. In all the travels of the Israelites, whenever the cloud lifted from above the tabernacle, they would set out. But if the cloud did not lift, they did not set out until the day it lifted. So the cloud of the Lord was over the tabernacle by day, and fire was in the cloud by night, in the sight of all the Israelites during their travels. And so they've now made a mobile temple, and God performed a specific sign to show them when it was time to pick up camp and move on, which was that he would lift his presence out of the tabernacle. So there we go. That wraps up Exodus. So what's really interesting about Exodus now, looking at it, that we've read the entire book together, and the Exodus, while a lot of it is dedicated to the construction of the tabernacle, is really it's a fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham, in that the Jews were liberated at the beginning, and then God helped them establish an actual government for their nation. And their nation, of course, would become one of the most important nations on earth in the coming centuries. I think that's, I think it's actually pretty interesting. It's just that obviously a lot of that stuff is not the most exciting, and so that's why they left it out of movies like the Ten Commandments and such. All right, so to the chat real quick, and then I am going to wrap it up quickly because it is murderously hot up here. Trustin in the house says hi. Godson says number, who wants chicken, don't know why. Let's see, Miss Moneypenny is here, good to see you. Can't wait for the Book of Kings. I'll trade you. I'll take your 100 degrees, and you can have the storm that's moving in. It's a little excuse. It's a little excuse me storm. Only 50 mile per hour winds and $50 hail. Well, look, I'm not saying that the weather here is worse than anywhere else, Gorilla. I'm just saying this room is terrible. Because this is an upstairs room, and the main air conditioner for this room is busted, and the little air conditioner that I have for this room takes a very long time to bring this room's temperature down. Like usually, to make it comfortable up here, it takes like a solid day of being on, but I can't afford to run it 24/7. And let's see. The storm, though, according to Gorilla, may be shifting south. Godson says atheists hate on Christianity because I think Jesus is a man just in heaven. That was a little incoherent. I'm not sure what you mean. They were very concerned with making sure the holy people smelled nice. Apparently, yes. And then Godson says Duke Nukem for some reason. Not as valuable as the first print. Yes, the first print would have been more valuable, but since Moses broke it, Eric in the house says, hey, Star Trek, got to meet Shatner. He was great. Thanked him for being an inspiration, and he thanked me for saying that. Awesome. Yeah, Shatner's a good guy. If a new culture appears and the people have had own Christian denomination they believe in, what? I don't get how I lost my number one spot. Well, I don't know, because you're spamming too much. The one piece of special clothing that we're missing was sweatbands. That is probably true. I wish I had one, to be honest. I do have some paper towels here, so that helps a little bit. Because, oh man, I am uncomfortable. Joker versus the frontman from Squid Game. Frontman really doesn't show any super special abilities other than he's a decent manager. So I would definitely give that to Joker. Michael Sumu, Lore Reloaded for $1 million. Look, you put up the $1 million, I will get in the ring with Lore Reloaded. Now, why aren't modern churches designed in accordance with the tabernacle blueprints? Because Christian churches are not the tabernacle. The tabernacle is a unique structure specifically designed to the central core of it was to have the Ark of the Covenant with the actual stone tablets and the actual presence of God there. And the ark has been missing for thousands of years, and the temple, the permanent temple that was eventually built, which is on the same pattern as this, was destroyed in the year 70. Young Michael would kickbox, Lore Reloaded for $1 million. Sure, why not? Need to build a cheap little swamp cooler. I don't know how to build a swamp cooler. I think some churches would construct their buildings to match the tabernacle. You would think, but not. I don't think there are any that have done it accurately, at least not that I know of. But it wouldn't matter because you don't have the Ark of the Covenant, and so to recreate the Holy of Holies would be, I mean, you could do it as kind of a museum thing at best, as an educational thing, but it wouldn't have any real significance. Shadow Walker says, hello from Australia. It's winter here, of course. The internet is a wonderful thing bringing us together. Indeed, I agree, and I am jealous of you being winter, except that you're in Australia, a land where everything tries to kill you. So I will take my ridiculous heat. Darth Maul, good to see you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. Says everyone a hot second. Debating on what to do with these skinless chicken breasts I got thawed out. Just a thought. Cook them. Don't eat them raw. What's the temperature there? Tonight's speaks for 53 degrees. I'll send. Man, I would love to be 53 degrees. That would be nice. Outside right now, it's actually not that hot. It's the high today was 90. It's currently 77. It looks, or no, I'm sorry. No, am I reading that wrong? Yeah, no, that's what it looks like. But anyway, it's 77 outside right now. But since I'm in an upstairs room, all the heat of the house kind of flows up here. And with no air conditioning on, it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Seems like the weather might mean it's time for the annual buzz cut. I'm not planning on cutting my hair. Because if I cut my hair, I'm not growing it out again. And, I think it looks better long. If new culture appear and they have their own, their Christian, if new culture appear and had their denomination Christian, what would their beliefs be? I don't know. Just wrap some copper tubes around a fan and connect a plastic hose to the copper pile to a pump that's in cold, icy water. Well, that sounds fairly simple, but it also sounds like something that I would have a very tough time doing. I wonder why the ark displayed from... I wonder why the ark, I assume you mean disappeared from history. I guess it served its purpose. I think so. There are two possibilities. One is, it's genuinely just lost out there in the desert somewhere, and someday maybe we'll find it. But I think the more likely possibility is that it no longer exists. And there we go. Darth Maul, what's your theory about the Ark of the Covenant's whereabouts? Did God take possession of it? I tend to think he did. If the Ark of the Covenant truly was a manifestation. I mean, even though it was built by human hands, it literally, God's presence would hover about the ark. And after the incarnation of Christ, God's presence was now within all of us. And so, since God changed that, there's no need for the ark anymore. Further, it's the ark of the covenant, but the covenant has been replaced with a new covenant brought by Christ. So the covenant no longer has a need. So yeah. Out dry ice in front of a fan. Problem solved. Yeah, well, I needed some dry ice lying around. Hopefully someone didn't just accidentally misplace it. Yeah, it'd be kind of funny. You know, you find out that, Barry just misplaced it one day. That stupid Barry. All right. So I am officially caught up in the chat. And I know it's been a short one, but like I said, it's unbearably hot up here, so I am going to wrap it up. But as you guys know, this wraps up the book of Exodus. So many people have been bugging me to tell them exactly what are we going to be doing for our next